All right. So Dr. Joanna has some guidelines for data controller checklist. Okay. So as a data controller, you could have these checklists. The first being try to conduct information audit to determine what information you process and who has access to it. Okay. You need to have a legal justification for your data processing activities. Okay. And you also need to provide clear information about data that is being processed and the legal justification in your privacy policy. Okay. The data protection, you need to consider, you need to take data protection into account at all times from the moment you begin developing the product to the time to each time you process the data. Okay. um, and I remember the doctor mentioned something about this in the class about uh, um, like design security as a design, something like that, whereby you consider design from the earlier stage of whatever you are doing. Okay. So also encryptions is pseudomize. Later on in the chapters, we will learn how to de-identify documents to remove uh, personalization and sensitive information from the data. Okay. So to give pseudonames to your data, as in patient one, patient two, instead of the actual name, uh, does the trick. Okay. Or to make it anonymous data whenever possible. You can create an internal security policy for your team members and build awareness, okay, about data protection. These are all things you can do. And know when to conduct a data protection impact assessment, okay? And we will see about this, okay? This is basically a document that you need to prepare, okay? It doesn't have to be submitted to any authority, but in case of data breach, local data authorities may ask for this document to see what preparations did you have in place. Okay. Okay. And have a process in place to carry it out. Okay. Of course. um so have a process in place to notify the authorities as well and your data subjects in the event of data breach. You need to designate someone responsible for ensuring the GDPR compliance across your organization. Usually this is the data protection officer, the DPO. Okay. And so it continues. We have the data processing agreement between your organization and any third parties that process personal data on your behalf. Okay. You need to have like sort of a contract. Okay. And if your organization is outside EU, you need to appoint a representative within one of the EU member states. Okay. You need to appoint data protection officer if necessary. Okay. It's easy for customers to request and receive information you have about them. You need to make sure this is possible. You need to make sure customers can correct and update their information. You need to make sure customers can request to have their data deleted. Those articles 13, 15, 17, okay? Customers need to be able to do this. They need to be able to ask you to stop processing their data, okay? They need to receive a copy of, they need to be able to receive a copy of their personal data. It's easy for you need to make it easy for customers to object to processing your data. Okay, you need to have all these mechanisms in place. I think there are websites where you can make consent management websites available, all these automation tools as well. All right, so next basically talks about privacy literacy. Okay, so this is to test our knowledge of how much we know about our privacy and how we can protect ourselves. So citing Debatin stated that privacy literacy basically encompasses an informed concern for privacy and effective strategies to protect it. Okay, and Triptych further elaborated that online privacy literacy may be defined as a combination of factual or declarative knowing, okay, procedural knowing how knowledge about online privacy. In terms of declarative knowledge, online privacy literally refers to the user's knowledge about technical aspects of like to delete your data, to deactivate your account. We will see all of this in the next slides, as you can see. So basically, privacy literacy wants you to answer these questions. Do you know how to delete or deactivate your account? Just restrict access to your profile, such as hobbies and interests. How to make your profile not accessible via Google. I don't think everyone knows this, but it is possible. How to control if others tag my name on pictures. How to restrict access to my posting. How to restrict access to my contact informations. So if you know all of this, then you're good to go. You're very knowledgeable in privacy. So these are some of the test questions we did in the class. I'm not gonna go over them, but yeah, this class was really interesting considering that the lecturer really knows how to explain the subject. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. This is the end of chapter 2.